Mystic Michaela spiritual family. Welcome to Know Your Aura with Mystic Michaela. This is Mystic Michaela's Halloween special, our 4th annual, and we are going to St. Augustine, Florida, the most haunted city in America. But first, hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys. Well, that is to be determined.
Okay.
It is the most haunted.
Yes, this is what they say.
This is what they say. As you know, I'm a skeptic, even though I've been choked by a ghost before.
Last year, they, by name, told you to get out.
Yes, by
name.
We
have it on record.
Yes, they told me to leave the women's parlor.
Yes.
They said, Scott, get out. For our first one, Joseph choked me, and I had to leave the house.
Yes.
So yeah, all right. So I'm still a skeptic, though. Still a skeptic. But, I decided to do it a little different this year. In years past, we've taken people with us. First year, we took Jemmy, our producer, and Jenny. And last couple of years, we took Purple Bomb Amanda, as a sacrifice, and Eliana. So this year, I thought, well, why don't we open it up to the listeners? People, love the episode. They really get into it. Why not bring them along for the ride? And we went with the company Ghost Augustine. Troy is I think part owner, manager. He is incredible.
Yeah.
This guy is incredible. I made so many phone calls to different companies, and when I talked to him, that's what I wanted to go with.
Yeah.
But we could only take 50. That was the max we can take, and that was pushing it. I had to kind of not fight with him, but come on, man, give me more slots. Give me more slots.
Right.
And 50 was the most that we could take. So that's what we're doing. We're taking 50 listeners. The kids are coming. There's other kids. There's going to be a lot of kids on the tour.
Yeah, people are bringing some of their kids.
Yeah, and we're going on the Dead Walk, which I think we're going to be around 8 p.m. So, what could possibly go wrong here?
What could go wrong?
All right, so I want to give a little context about St. Augustine, a little history lesson.
Okay.
First.
Yeah, why do they call it the most haunted city
and that's what
in America?
Right, and that's what I was looking for.
I always like to kind of understand the history of a place.
Okay. So it is the oldest European settlement.
Yes.
In North America.
Right.
There was obviously inhabitants before that, but this is European settlement, oldest one, 1565, settled by the Spanish.
Okay.
Okay. So just to put that into context, if you're thinking okay, when is that? Jamestown, everyone knows Jamestown.
Yeah.
I think,
what is that, like Pilgrims? I'm bad at this.
Well,
When are the Pilgrims?
Pilgrims are the Plymouth colony.
I don't know.
Okay, so Jamestown's like the oldest colony of the colonies of the United States. Like Virginia.
Explain it to me like I'm a 7th grader.
Okay, so in the 1600s.
Right.
Okay, so just basically that's just to put it into context. 1607 is Jamestown, and then when the Pilgrims you're talking about, that's Plymouth Rock, like the Mayflower. And all that jazz.
Wait, when was that?
That's 1620.
Okay, and this is
1565.
Okay.
So you're like, is that like 55 years before?
I have a question.
Yeah.
It's a little off. This just came to my head. How come they say Columbus came in 1492?
1492.
How
he
come
sailed the ocean blue. How
come they didn't have a city established then?
Well, okay, so now we're going real history.
Sorry.
Here. No, that's fine. Okay. So
I just don't understand why it took them so long to make a city.
Well, think about it. They don't know anything of the New World at that time.
Okay, yeah.
Right? And let's say you're now the late 1400s, early 1500s. So the first thing is you have to get the explorers going.
Oh, that's true.
So then you get all the explorers going, and then you got to try to establish a colony.
Okay.
And in this case, it was Ponce de Leon.
Okay.
And he was, looking probably to get rich, but also for the fountain of youth.
Right.
So he can live forever.
Okay.
And, I guess I would have probably went on that journey too.
Yeah.
So I could avoid the deep, dark
void of the NASA photos.
Sure,
okay.
Yes. And he gets there. He's the first to get there.
Mm-hmm.
He sails for Spain. 1513.
Okay.
He comes to what is modern day Florida. And Florida translates in Spanish to land of flowers, land of the flowers. I think if he landed there now, we would have a different name for it. I would call it the land of the hot mess purple.
Even before any Europeans were there, it would be the land of the hot mess purple.
I don't know. I mean, you're a Spanish teacher. Could you translate that for us?
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of rough. I feel like a native speaker would say it better, but like la tierra de la persona violeta desorganizada.
Okay. That's a little long for me, but all right. Land of the hot mess purple.
Okay, yeah, I like that one.
So anyway, but to answer your question, what goes on between, let's say, that time period, 1513 and 1565, is they're trying to make the colony.
Okay.
They're trying to make the settlement. And every time they try, I think they tried about 6 times.
Oh, wow.
I think they give it a rough. Some people say it's 6 times. Some people say it's a little less. But every time they get killed, most of they get killed by the inhabitants that were there first.
The indigenous people.
And also at the same time, once a place was settled and people heard about it, then the other countries of the time, they want to get on the act.
Okay.
So now the French are getting in on the act.
So this is all this one spot that they're all kind of going
it's just
for?
one spot, up and down that Florida coast.
Okay.
That area, which would go like.
And it's hot.
Yeah, and that was my thing.
Yeah.
So when they officially made the colony in St. Augustine, it was September.
Oh my God.
It is hot as
That's like the worst time.
Yeah. It's the hottest time of the year.
Without air conditioning, can you imagine?
Yeah. Like, how did they do it?
Gross. And all the mosquitoes and stuff.
Yeah, and like, why would they have wanted to stay here?
Yeah.
Like, especially, like, I could see, like, December. Oh, it's nice here.
Yeah, right.
But, like, you get here and think about it. You're getting here September 8th. It's hot. It's crazy hot.
Well, I would imagine the Spanish people are used to heat. It can be hot in some parts of there, too.
Yeah, but think about it, there's nothing. So, I mean,
that's true.
Very little at that point.
Well, yeah, there's no structure.
Build everything.
Right.
You got to build structures.
Right.
So
it took them a while to kind of like I get that. I understand that now, to like scaffold some sort of society.
Exactly.
I got it.
It's just not like, you find, the
it's
explorer
like
comes, yay, there's our, Starbucks is built, the Wawa's up.
Right.
We're ready
There's
to
no
go.
Infrastructure.
There's nothing there. Right.
Right. Okay.
And then you have all the problems, like you said, mosquitoes, all that. And then the biggest problem is other people.
Yeah.
So they're fighting the French, blah, blah, blah. And then, finally they're able to knock off the French. But then in come the British, and this was a time of literal pirates. Okay, like, there were actually pirates. There were like
the real,
Johnny Depps,
the real scary kind.
Yeah, there were Jack Sparrows at this time.
Right.
Francis Drake. He would send over fleets, and all they would do is they pillage St. Augustine and the surrounding towns.
So there's all these people that are living through all this, and there's probably like death and just horrific conditions and disease and war and mean people.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like. You didn't know one day the British pirates are going to show up on the doorstep of St. Augustine and slaughter everyone, rape, pillage, and take everything they have.
And they're just like indigenous people getting killed and just everything.
Right. And then you're fighting with the natives of the land, the Seminoles.
Yeah.
So finally they build the fort, the famous fort of St. Augustine. They finally get their act together. 1672, they build the fort. The Castillo de San Marcos still stands today. Takes about 20-something years to build. And that kind of solidifies that the Spanish are going to take that territory.
Okay.
Keep the territory. But then, history goes on. The British, now they're colonizing North America. The French are colonizing North America. We're taking more of the United States. And then they fight the French and Indian War. And they sign the Treaty of Paris, 1763. And that hands Florida over to the British.
Okay.
So now the Spanish are out. Long story short, American Revolution, Spain helps us. We give the land back to Spain, so now Spain has it. And then eventually, in the 1800s, we just buy it off Spain in a treaty.
Okay.
So a lot of history there. Death. Well, I mean, basically, you're walking over death.
It's like an epicenter of just trauma.
Right. So you can see why it possibly could be the most haunted.
Yeah, for sure.
Or one of the most haunted.
Well, I believe like energy can concentrate for sure. So.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't know that it's more haunted than any other old city. Well, but it's possible.
Sometimes people say like haunting is really guilt.
Okay.
Like it's a collective consciousness of guilt, which is interesting. I always found that interesting. A theory, but we'll see when we get there. Okay. There could be both.
So anyway, we're going to be touring the city. Troy told me all the places we're going, but I totally forgot them all. We were talking except
I know it's a lot of them on the south side of town or something.
Yeah, we're going off like the beaten path. He told me one that I remember that stood out in my mind was the Kenwood Inn.
Okay.
So I looked that one up. I didn't want to call him back again. Hey, could you tell me all the locations? But because he mentioned like 7 or 8. Some of them were in Spanish, and sometimes when I'm in a conversation with someone, everything just flows over my head.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. So the one I remember he did say we're going to see is the Kenwood Inn. So I actually looked that up. And to get the little bit of
because this is like a walking tour outside that we're going on with everybody with guides.
Yes, we're going to have 2 guides. And 50 listeners.
Got it.
Yeah.
And so what was the Kentwood Inn?
All right, so Kentwood Inn is one of the, you could actually stay there today. I actually thought about it, but I'm
Oh
like,
my God. No, the kids would, they're not going to do that.
Yeah. So
our children are very scared. And we're taking them. We're so nice.
Yeah. What could go wrong? So I looked this one up. It says it's the most haunted inn in St. Augustine, but I think every probably inn is the most haunted.
I would think so at this point. Sure.
Yeah. So basically there was a woman named Lavender. She stayed there sometime in the late 1800s, early 1900s. She was having an affair with a doctor, a very prominent doctor of St. Augustine. But Doc was married.
Oh, geez.
Doc was married.
Okay.
And Lavender basically wanted him to leave the wife and give her an ultimatum, get rid of her and go off with Lavender.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. And Lavender threatened the doctor saying, I'm going to out you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So once the doctor realized he was in trouble here, he didn't want to be outed.
Right.
You know, he stabbed her to death in the Kenwood Inn in that house at the time.
Oh my God. And you can stay there?
Yes, you can stay there. I think they said like room 7 is the most haunted or something. Room 9 is the most haunted. I forgot what number. But
7 or 9, folks.
7 or 9. Yeah, you can stay there, you know.
Yeah,
I want to stay there.
I'm so happy you didn't book that.
Yeah, I didn't book that. I booked the Hilton Garden Inn.
That's good.
Brand new hotel.
Okay, that's
only
good.
a month old. So probably not haunted. But so anyway, so maybe we'll see Lavender.
Okay.
I don't know when we go.
All
right. So, all right, we're heading off. Nothing could possibly go wrong here.
No, of course not.
We're in good shape. Let's get in the car and go.
You know what's really spooky? My hair. Before I started using Prose's curl cream. Before I used Prose's curl cream, when I let my hair naturally dry, the curls just had no definition and it just turned into a frizzy mess. But now with the curl cream, it's shinier and smoother, it's softer, it feels stronger. And Prose, they know there is more to you than just your hair type. Prose has given over 1 million consultations with their in-depth hair quiz, which is how I got started. They asked the most detailed of questions. You have to go try it out for yourself. My zip code, my eating habits, if I exercise or not, the damage level to my hair. By analyzing over 85 personal factors, Prose determines a unique blend of ingredients to treat your exact concerns. Prose also has a review and refine feature, which lets me tweak my formulas for any reason, like change of address, my hair color, or my diet. As a carbon neutral certified B Corp, Prose is an industry leader in clean and responsible beauty. All their ingredients are sustainably sourced, ethically gathered, and cruelty-free. They're also the first custom beauty brand to go carbon neutral. If you're not 100% positive Prose is the best hair care you've ever had, they will take the products back, no questions asked. Prose is the healthy hair regimen with your name all over it. Take your free in-depth hair consultation and get 15% off your first order today. Go to prose.com/aura. That's Prose, PROSE.com/aura for your free in-depth hair consultation and 15% off. Hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys. Okay, so actually right now, we are in the lobby of the Hilton Garden Inn.
Yes.
In the historic district of St. Augustine.
Yeah.
So you might hear a lot of noise.
Yes.
Because there's a couple of drunk people at the bar.
We couldn't get rid of them.
We asked. We did.
There was nowhere else for us to do this.
They refused to leave. Like, they just flat out refused. I even offered them cash.
Right.
They said no.
All right.
Okay.
It's a hopping spot.
It's a hopping spot.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, we're at Jimmy Hula's.
Right.
Where we met up with a lot of members of the Mystic Michaela spiritual family. Mm-hmm. And we decided that we wanted to interview a couple of them.
Yes.
That are going to be going on the ghost hunt tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. So our first guest, we're going to interview them separately. Our first guest is Adriana. Adriana?
Hey, guys.
She has the she could take my job.
She knows. She's got a great voice.
Yeah.
I can replace you.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I feel I don't want to continue this interview.
When I started speaking to her at Jimmy Hula's, I was like mesmerized by her voice. And I pictured a whole different podcast.
Right.
But my voice is the one that should probably be replaced, honestly, with my accent.
By the end of this interview, are you going to do the Adriana voice?
Yes, I'm going to try.
Okay.
I can teach you. I'm a speech therapist.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So do you know your colors?
Yes.
Yes. Purple, blue.
Yes.
Yes.
And she's so purple and blue right now. And like when I look at you, is it Adriana or Adriana?
Adriana.
Adriana.
Yeah.
Okay. When I look at you, Adriana, like it's very nicely balanced and they're kind of merging, like they're communicating with each other.
Awesome.
So when I see that, it's just you're mindfully understanding what parts of yourself are happening and how they work. And it's a nice flowy vibe.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to hear that because I've been feeling like I've been coming into my own more recently, just
that's
more
good.
confident in myself and just like the best version I've been in a long time. So that's so great to hear you affirm that.
And you help people for a living.
Yes.
Which is so beautiful. What do you do?
I'm a speech language pathologist and I work with pediatric population. Yeah.
Oh.
And sort of my niche is working with the moderate, severely autistic population, especially ones that are mostly nonverbal. So they use other ways to communicate, whether it's through like an app on an iPad. Some of them communicate through singing, And so I feel like the blue, I can really feel kind of what they want or need or kind of what they need in the moment.
You help them get to their expressions.
Yeah,
I love that.
So that's super rewarding.
That's awesome.
All right. I think that's a perfect combo for ghost hunting.
Yes.
Do you agree?
Yeah. You know, a couple episodes ago, we talked about how each aura color is affected differently by the paranormal. Okay. And so this is going to be interesting.
All right. So my question for you is, are you terrified? I have booked the most terrifying ghost hunt in St. Augustine. Like, there was all these like ghost hunts that like they take you with like some guy who dresses up in a costume and he takes you like to like the local candy shop or whatever, all that nonsense, the bookstore or whatever. I booked a tour of these hardcore ghost hunters. Are you nervous?
I'm more nervous for my license and my cell phone, more so than myself.
Oh, please explain why.
Okay.
Yeah. So about 2 years ago, my boyfriend and I, we went just on a last-minute trip to Savannah, Georgia. We kind of went into the trip a little bit low-vi. We were both kind of going through some stuff, and we were like, we're going to, go on this staycation, and it's going to fix everything. And so we booked a ghost tour, and I don't remember which one, but it was one where we went to different cemeteries, and there's one cemetery in Savannah, and I can't remember the name, one of the more well-known ones. And the cemetery itself, so you have the headstones of the people buried there, and then the tour guide told us that there are also all many slaves that were buried there that were completely unaccounted for, unmarked graves. And so when we were walking through, my cell phone was like vibrating, turning on and off. I was just feeling super nauseous, dizzy, like just very, very off. And that just continued for the rest of the night. And then later on the night, I lost my license and we went to like every single place we had been, like the 24 hours before that, no luck. So yeah, it just was,
it's just missing.
Just completely
was it in your
gone.
Wallet?
No, like it's
like, where was it before it was missing?
So we went to a bar where I had to show my ID.
Sure.
And then I showed my ID to get a drink. And then from there.
So it was just like kind of misfortune or whatever.
Right,
so
exactly.
I think what happened here, there was a ghost.
Yeah.
They were underage. And they needed an ID.
Yes.
So that they could drink in Savannah. Is that a possibility?
Sure. I think with Adriana, it's interesting because she works with, I don't know if this is even right to say, but I mean, you work with nonverbal people.
Yeah.
And what I noticed just doing mediumship is a lot of these spirits need somebody to speak for them. And so when they see somebody and they sense somebody who's like open like that, they probably just were latching on to her. And it's really interesting when you're talking about the unmarked graves with the former enslaved people.
Right.
I mean, who never had a voice? I mean, it's kind of like gives me chills. It's very...
Yeah. Full circle kind of to also what I do a little bit.
It's really interesting.
Wow, I didn't think of it like that.
And it makes me feel really sad in a way. And so when you were feeling like nauseous and heavy, that's just interesting. So I worry about her tomorrow getting some heavy stuff.
Protect me.
Yeah. So you better
Bring
be
some
on.
sage.
Better help Adriana here.
No cell phone or wallet.
Yeah, she's going to be double checking that.
All right. So you, but other than that, you feel pretty confident. You're not nervous, not really scared of the ghosts.
I think I'm more just, I haven't really thought about it too much yet.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So let me ask you. You have this friend, Danny.
Yes.
Okay. And when we were at Jimmy Hula's, you told us this story of how you guys, you worked with each other, but how you met. All right, tell us that story, because that's really interesting.
Yeah. So I started working at the company we both work at a little over a year ago, and I was really looking to work at that company for a long time, eyeing it for a while, wanting to apply. I got accepted, and then she and I both got put on the same Halloween door decorating team.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what place we got. I think like second or third, but we did a Mario theme. Very fun.
Very fun.
But anyway, so we followed each other on Instagram, and I was stalking your Mystic Michaela's page as normal, and I saw that her username had liked some of your photos, and I was like, what?
It's like, whoa. Yeah.
So I Instagram messaged her like, I'm not trying to be creepy or anything, but I saw that your username liked this picture. That's crazy. I know we've only talked like once or twice, but let's be friends.
That's how it works. That's
Now,
how it works over here.
Did you also notice that she liked my Instagram pictures?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. All right. I mean, I thought I was a big influencer on Instagram. I mean, okay. I understand.
So, yeah.
All right. So that's how. So after that, you guys
And
kind
now
of
we're
realized.
just BFFLs. Yeah.
Or explaining buddies.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes.
No, that's not what she said. I just added that. You thought that stood for that.
Like,
I know.
Is that? Yeah.
No.
Okay. All right. So I think what we need to do now is bring Danny in here.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So let's interview Danny and see how she's feeling about the ghost hunt.
Hey, Scotty.
Hey guys, all right. So we now have Danny here.
Yeah.
We're still in the Hilton Garden Inn.
We're still here.
Yeah, the music. If you hear music, this weird elevator
It's music.
going on. I'm sorry. I apologize
It's not
in
spooky.
advance.
It's spooky in a different way.
Yeah, don't send me hateful DMs over it. Okay? I get enough of those anyway.
We know.
All right.
We're aware.
All
Okay.
right. So Danny, all right. Let's. All right. Do you know your colors?
Yes, or I thought I knew my color. So did a reading of me a while back over Zoom, and I was super blue then. So super blue with purple.
Okay.
And then she said I had like a hint of yellow, but I resented my yellow because it was something I had to utilize at work, and I was pushing it down, but it was an authentic yellow. So after that, I kind of reframed myself, and I really embraced that yellow. Like, I can be yellow, that's okay. And so when we met tonight, you said I was very purple yellow, and it just kind of lit me up because blue is something I feel like, I don't know, it held me back for a bit. And I really was like a people pleaser child and went through my life as a people pleaser, and I've been letting that go a lot, and I've been more confident. So I guess like that purple yellow is taking charge, which is really nice.
That. I'm so proud of you. That's awesome. Yeah, like sometimes I'll see purple yellows, especially if you were raised a certain way, just be really ashamed of who you are because you're told like, oh, that's not nice. When you're just doing like taking charge or trying to help or calling people out in a loving way or correcting or just taking over, you know, all that kind of stuff that is normal to yellow people, or even being purple, just like intuitive. Like, I see this, or this is honesty, and then being told, no, that's mean. And it's not mean. It's that's how you show love. So I'm so proud of you for doing that. And just like Adriana, and I love you two together because you're both different, you know, but you shine so beautifully together, like your energies. So like when I first saw you without even knowing who you were, I was like, oh man, their colors look so nice together. So I just wanted to sit near you. So it was just so good. But you help people too. What do you do?
Yeah, so I'm an occupational therapist. So I also work with kids with special needs. I work in schools. And so I feel like my blue has served me. Like,
Oh, sure.
I've always been described as like, you're the nice person. And I like being the nice person, but I think as I age, I don't know if we just get like more confidence as we get older, that I'm just wanting to be like, yes, I'm nice, but I'm also so many other things.
Yeah.
So
that's not you're not getting that self-worth from hearing that as you did from a long time ago. So you've outgrown that need. That's awesome.
Right. But I do feel like working with kids, like there's just times like I intuitively know, like, oh, I know they really like this toy, or I really like, if they say one word, like they're a nonverbal kid, but they realize one thing, I'm like, oh, like, yeah, I get that. I'm going to feed off that. And I know that's what you want.
Oh,
So
that's so nice.
Yeah.
Like two little healers we got here.
yeah.
All right. So we wanted to talk about how paranormal abilities affected different aura colors a little bit. So with you, it's really interesting because being so purple. And also it's interesting because you've shifted a lot with your colors. So you might, with you, the purple can really attract a lot of strong energy. And being a yellow, you're like, I need to make sense of it. Instead of sometimes other people who might be more like blue, purple, or something like, whatever. That was a crazy experience, moving on. Like you might get stuck in, what is this? What is it? So what's been going on? What is your experience with like spirit or situations like that?
We could talk about my Savannah experience or my night terrors.
I'd love to hear about the night terrors.
Yeah, let's go with the night terrors first.
So I've had vivid dreams since a child, and like night terrors, that's when you get up and you like scream.
Oh my God.
And like I had one as an adult. I was going through like a super stressed out time, and I like woke up in the middle of the night, went running down my hallway, like screaming bloody murder, and like turned the light on, woke myself up, and like my heart was racing, and I had to like reorient myself. Like, where am I?
Was there anyone else in the house?
At the time, I was with my husband, and then my brother and his girlfriend were our roommates.
Oh.
And they locked their door. They were like, they didn't come out to see if I was okay.
So nobody helped you?
No. And my husband's used to it because
Okay.
I'll get up if I'm like sleepwalking, and I'll turn the light on, and that's how I wake myself up.
Okay.
Oh,
So
wow.
he already kind of knows.
Okay. So this wasn't the first time it happened?
Oh, no.
Oh, it happens often?
Yeah, I talk in my sleep. My husband's kind of used to it. So.
Do you have memories of it or recollections like of what's going on?
I return to familiar places in my sleep. So like there are places that I'll visit and I'm like, I've been here before. And like I don't really know the place, but like I feel like I've been there.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Now,
And like I'll dream about people.
Yeah.
But
like, yeah. But you feel like you're entering different spaces.
I don't know. Yeah. Like there's just places. Sometimes I'm in a loop. Like, I don't know, like I'm constantly in this building and I'm just in a loop going up like stairs or an elevator. I'm just like in a loop, but I've like been in the building before.
I wonder if you're walking through like your mind or you're
Maybe.
walking through like different halls of records of something like in your soul contract or something like that, like trying to search for what's this all about here.
Maybe.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
You know, I know obviously not a professional or anything like that. And there's like sleep therapists and all sorts of real science. And I believe in all that stuff. But like with you, it's interesting because it's almost like you're searching for the thing that you've been repressing or something. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if the more you do this, the more dramatic it can get, actually. Like the more you kind of feel good when you're awake, the more awful it could be when you're sleeping sometimes. Mm-hmm. I wonder, have you noticed that or...
So I do a lot of like distraction things before sleep, like watching shows, reading books, and I will fight sleep sometimes. So, and I feel like I don't always want to fall asleep.
Yeah.
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 And it could be, I mean, if I just from what I know about when people have like spiritual awakenings and stuff like that, it's really important before you go to sleep. And this will help probably a lot of people listening, like to talk to your spirit guides and be like, first of all, lay off. Second of all, protect me. Third of all, make this have a point for me. Mm-hmm. I need to know what this is about. I need an answer.
Right.
Okay. I actually have to ask Adriana a question right now.
Wow.
So put her back on the mic.
Oh, okay.
Are you nervous that, because you guys are staying together for this trip, Are you nervous that this is going to happen?
Well, I wasn't
Are
before.
you trained?
But
Okay,
now,
now you are.
But now,
She's
now
like
I
listening.
am.
She's like,
Is there like a training course that she needs to take that?
Yeah.
So that you're.
I feel like
yeah.
probably
Yeah.
yes.
She needs
yeah,
to-
I'm
okay.
I'm a little nervous.
Now you're nervous. See, she wasn't nervous about the ghost hunt, but she's
I think
nervous about
Adriana's
that.
like
More-
not
yeah.
scared. She's probably just like, how do I keep her in the room?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Is she going to be okay?
Yeah.
Is there anything I should do?
Well, at least she gave you
Pretty
warning on the
much.
podcast. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
exactly.
good.
It's a good
Thank
place.
you.
It's a good place for that.
Thanks so much.
That's good.
All right.
Okay.
But there's another reason why
Yeah.
she should be scared.
Yes. Now, you also went on a ghost hunt in Savannah, Georgia. Mm-hmm. We're not sure if it was the same ghost hunt as Adriana, though. Mm-hmm. Okay. But something happened on that ghost hunt that was pretty scary, too. Mm-hmm. Okay. Tell us what happened there.
Yeah. So also another weird vibe night, and I just was not feeling it. I don't know. So we go through the night. Ghost tour is weird. Ghost tour guide is really weird and it's kind of creepy. And we get to the end. We're at this bar, and a couple that were on the ghost tour started talking to us, and I'm like, oh, I can make a friend. Like, that's awesome.
She's like, look at me.
Yeah.
I'm so friendly.
And it was
yeah.
were you alone yourself?
My
No, she's
husband.
with her
You and your
husband.
Oh, you and the husband. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
and he's probably super green, so like he's just there to support me and do whatever crazy thing I want to do.
That's nice.
So the girl and I were talking about like astrological signs. I'm like, all right, cool. Like we can be friends. That's awesome.
That's great.
We're
Okay,
vibing
great.
right
Yeah.
now. So
Fantastic.
we go in the bar and like we go to get drinks and the girl goes to the bathroom. My husband like went off to go to the bathroom too, and her husband's staying next to me. I'm like, all right, cool. And he turns to me and he's like, I just want to let you know my wife is probably going to try to make out with you. And I was
What?
like, oh no.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
Your purple got you into this.
Okay. Now these were not ghosts that you found on the shore. These were people.
Maybe they were like
Maybe they were ghosts from the
demons
tour?
or something.
Yeah.
Demons, I don't know. They latched onto us. They were energy vampires or something.
So what happened? Like,
Yeah. So what happened? Okay. So what happened?
So I look at the husband. I'm thinking in my mind, my purple's like, you totally messed this up, like because I would have been sidelined, like they're blindsided, like
Yeah.
But he messed it up. So then my wall was up, and the wife comes back from the bathroom, and she's like, "Do you want to dance?" And I was like,
she had more game than he did.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, I was probably more blue then. I was like, yes, sure.
Yeah, sure.
So we started
I can't be
dancing.
rude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're dancing, and she's like, "Do you want to make out?" And I was like, "No, no." So, and then my husband and I like promptly left. I think we saw them on the street the next day, and we like averted our eyes. We were like, "Oh no, God!" Yeah,
That's awful. You went on a ghost tour, and the scariest thing that happened were like swingers.
yeah.
Are you sure this wasn't in South Florida?
Yeah, that's
So I'm from South Florida.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm from Fort Myers.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were they from South Florida?
I think they were from the Midwest,
Oh.
which also kind of scares me. I don't know.
Okay.
Something
Yeah.
about the Midwest.
That could be a whole thing we don't understand.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot to unpack here. I don't know if we have enough time.
Danny has a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure we all have a lot.
Don't we?
Yeah.
Don't we?
Yeah.
But I love your yellow purple aura, and I think that's awesome. And you know, I think you're working through stuff in your dreams. It's just like a yellow
Yes.
to not even sleep. Like they have to do things even in their sleep.
Yeah.
She's probably making every moment productive.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think it's time to get out of this Hilton Garden Inn lobby.
Yeah.
Because the music is driving me insane.
The
And there's,
people are getting
the
rowdy.
Door, yeah, the people are getting rowdy. The door slamming behind me is like throwing me off. There's
Yeah,
like
you're
this whole
you're
phony thing going on.
You're getting
for
really
everybody.
anxious and jumpy. Yeah.
Getting all jumpy. All right. But when we come back, we're going to talk to the guys that are taking us on the tour.
You can take action today for a healthier tomorrow with Everlywell. Their at-home lab tests and vitamins and supplements can help you get the knowledge and support you need so you can become a healthier you. Everlywell is a digital healthcare designed for you, all at an affordable and transparent price. With over 30 at-home lab tests, you'll be able to choose the test that makes the most sense for you to get the answers you need, like the women's health test or the food sensitivity test. Everlywell also has high-quality vitamins and supplements to support your overall health. Choose from a variety of options, including vitamin D3 and omega-3 fish oil. Here's how it works. Everlywell ships products straight to you with everything you need in just one package. To take your at-home lab test, simply collect your sample and use the included prepaid shipping label to mail your test back to a certified lab. Your physician-reviewed results will get sent to your phone or device in just days. And you can share the results with your primary care physician to help guide next steps. If you ordered vitamins and supplements, you can start adding them to your daily routine right away. It's so simple. Over 1 million people have trusted Everlywell to support their health and wellness goals, and you can too. I really highly recommend the food sensitivity test. What a wake-up call that was. And getting to share that with my primary care physician, it changed up some of the supplements that I've been taking, some of the vitamins, and my overall feeling of control over my health. And a lot of you listeners have told me that you've gotten these for yourself, these tests, and for your loved ones too. And for listeners of the show, Everlywell is offering a special discount of 20% off an at-home lab test at everlywell.com/KYA. That's everlywell.com/KYA for 20% off your next at-home lab test. everlywell.com/KYA. Hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys. Okay, so we're here at 162 St. George Street in St. Augustine. We have not left St. Augustine yet. We're still here. We have Tanya. She is going to be one of our tour guides for Ghost St. Augustine.
Ghost Augustine.
Ghost Augustine. Oh, I apologize. Ghost Augustine. All right, so she's here with us, and I'm going to ask, this is a very important question, Tanya. Do you know your aura?
I do not.
What's your favorite color?
I like blues, like ocean colors.
Oh, I love that.
Variations of blues and greens, maybe.
Okay. So can I look at, do you mind if I read your aura? Okay.
Please do.
So you're very purple and you have a lot of blue too. So that's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. And what's interesting about you is your purple's really, it's like the forward color, which to me, I feel like you're very intuitive. Like you're somebody who people notice. So I'm sure your whole life it's a lot of, why is this person talking to me? Or why did I get this? Or you have all the interesting friends or the unique situations happen around you. You're like, what is this? But you're level-headed about it because I feel like you can really take yourself out of it. But you got a good heart. So I feel like people sense that about you. And it's interesting that you do this work because I can see possibly, and this is what I'd love to know, do the ghosts know this about you? Seriously, like do you feel like they understand that you'll understand them?
Oh, that's a tough question. I don't know. I would like to know that too, I think. I don't know. Sometimes I just think they stay away from me.
You think How'd you get into this?
So I've always been interested in the paranormal. Like when I was a kid, like other kids, want to be like school teachers or the president of the United States or astronauts or something. And I'm like, I want to be a parapsychologist. And of course, I became an English teacher.
Of course.
But then I saw that they were hiring and I was like, it was just one of those moments that I never thought, oh, that could be a job for me. But I saw the sign and I was like, I know I have to do that. Like that is exactly me. So, it really does kind of merge my love of the paranormal and stories, which, is the English background, writing stories. And so it's history. This city just has such amazing history. I've not always been a history buff, but in this city, there's just something about it that's just extra special.
It comes alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really does. Yeah. There's a special energy
That's awesome.
here.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right, so I have to ask this. Okay, we have a lot. Okay, so we basically we're taking 50 of our podcast listeners on this tour, and a lot of them are terrified. They're scared out of their minds.
They're very scared.
Very scared. I'm also very scared, by the way.
Do you want to be scared?
He does. You know him. Yes, he does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, there was one time because we do this special every year, and one time we went into this house. It was called the Riddle House in West Palm Beach. And I was choking. In the house, I felt my throat
Like somebody was-
close,
yeah.
and I started choking, and I had to run out of the house. And I was like bent over. I couldn't breathe for at least a few minutes after leaving the house. So I'm
Wow.
actually a little scared myself.
Okay.
I'm a little choked up. So can I
I
ask?
got just the thing for you later.
Okay,
Oh.
you do? Oh boy! Oh boy!
Oh, Tanya's got something for
She's
you.
purple.
We'll
She's
see.
too purple.
We'll
Tanya might be too purple for me.
I love it.
So are we going to encounter any scary ghosts on this tour?
Okay, so my personal experience doing this for year and a half or so at this point, I feel like there's this idea of ghosts as like they're always like this scary thing to be feared, and yeah, maybe there are some, like the one that choked you, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay.
Joseph. This guy's named Joseph. Joseph the ghost choked me.
But I think the vast majority of them are just spirits. They were like us. And they passed on, and they're still kind of like us, right? Just from different time periods, different histories. But for the most part, they're all pretty, just average, normal people that have cool histories and stories. And so, if you're respectful of them and they're respectful back, and they like to come out and, they want you to get to know them and interact when they can.
So have you ever been scared then? Never on one of these tours?
It's funny. I used to be a lot more scared of ghosts and hauntings and stuff before I got this job.
Oh, wow.
But now I don't know. I've learned that, like, first of all, those big, scary ghost moments, even when you're really searching for them, they're so hard to come by. Like seeing a ghost is like the holy grail, right? Like not very many people get to see one.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to have those experiences. They're not freely around all the time, but when we do, they tend to be just pretty like normal, nice people, interesting to interact with and stuff. So have I ever been scared on a tour? Actually, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. Like I've been really excited, and it's fun and exciting and interesting, but nothing I mean, there's been a few scary moments. They've never been directed at me, so no, I'm not scared.
Okay. All right.
Do you ever feel like the ghosts or the spirits or, I mean, do you ever feel like they want to be performed some nights and some nights they don't? Or do you feel like sometimes they're more participative? Is that a word? Sometimes they're not.
I always say, like, they don't perform on command. They come out when they want to.
Right.
So our job is just give good energy. We tell the stories, and then they come out when they want to. And so it really depends on the energy of the group.
Ooh, that's good to know.
Yeah, I really can see a difference. When there's a group with good energy, you get a lot more activity. And then some nights, it's just kind of slow. And I don't know, maybe all the ghosts are like having a party somewhere. They're all away, but
I would think they might be busy sometimes. Like they can't always just be on command for the story.
Right. Right.
That makes sense.
All right. So what are some of the places that we're going to be going? Where were we going today?
Oh, so we are going to stick with mostly the south side of town, the lesser travel side of town. A lot of the stories there are less well known, but kind of extra creepy, older side of town, a little darker over there, less traffic. So really cool stories over there. I call it like the deadly side of town because there's a lot of stories of the dead over there. So that's where we're gonna head down St. George Street and over by the Spanish Military Hospital. Let's see. Some of the inns, the Casa de Solana and the Kenwood Inn. And then, of course, we'll end with the Leitner Museum, the Flagler College, the Casa Monaco, the big, beautiful architecture hotels in the city. So, you're going to get a good mix of the history of the city and especially the dark history, I think. And then, of course, the haunts along the way.
Wow.
All right.
I'm excited.
Now, the only thing we should probably do, just in case something happens, that we have this person with us. Her name is Purple Bomb Amanda.
Yes, we've named her this.
Now, she's purple, obviously.
Okay.
So tell all the ghosts, if you communicate them, just to go to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scott basically said she's like the sacrificial lamb.
She's the sacrificial lamb.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's okay with this?
She's okay with it.
Yeah, but she doesn't know.
Okay.
Amanda. She's a good sport.
Okay. I don't know if that sounds like she's okay with it, but I'll see what I can do. But I do kind of want to target you in particular.
Yes,
so.
thank you.
Oh, boy. All right, I'm getting nervous.
And you read him correctly. He keeps this kind of, he's a skeptic a little bit. Like he believes it. He believes that people believe it like that. But I think there's this part of him that just wants to be like touched on the shoulder or something.
We get a lot of touching on the tours. That is one of the main things people experience.
Okay.
And then we, a lot of pictures of orbs and ghosts and stuff. And then sometimes people will see things. But it's the feeling, a sensation of touch.
Okay.
That's
is
good to
often.
know.
All right.
Well, I have chills.
You have chills?
I'm into it. Yep.
All right.
I can't wait.
Well, why don't we learn a little bit about the equipment?
Okay. We are here with Wiley, a tour guide from Ghost Augustine.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color is blue.
Is it? Oh, yeah. That's really cool. So do you mind if I read your aura?
Sure.
All right. You're blue, of course, and you're red, too, which is like his colors.
All right.
Oh,
Same
nice.
color.
Nice.
Same
You're
color?
just like my husband. You're a little flip-flop, though. Like, he's more red. And then, first.
Yeah, okay. That's weird because I wasn't going to think he was a red blue.
But
I thought blue-green.
Wiley leads with blue.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, he leads with the blue.
Which is, that's what it is.
But I feel like, Wiley, you're the type of person, like, you're very kind and you're nice and respectful and professional. But if somebody's, like, crossing a line or, like, you're going to stick up for somebody or you're that kind of person. You're very gentlemanly and whatnot. And somebody who's very, character is very important to you, I feel, and being an upward person. And it's interesting that you do this job because I'm sure it comes with a lot of people like, you're making it up or you're da-da-da-da. And so how important, I guess, just is explaining that to people for you, how you do something different than somebody else?
So, I'm a history teacher as well. So one of the things about history is credibility. So you always have to make sure, like, you're not just telling BS to your kids and whatnot. So with ghost stories, like, it's really important for me to make sure, like, I'm, very professional and I'm telling the correct stories because at the end of the day, like, just like my students, I don't want them to come back and say, oh, you were wrong on this, so it's very, very important for me to make sure everything is, the way it should be because that's just how I live my life.
Yeah.
I love that.
What subject do you teach in what grade?
Right now I teach American government and world history, so I teach seniors and sophomores.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, just good luck to you.
What's scarier, sophomores or like anything you've seen out here?
Well, maybe seniors.
Yeah, my seniors are pretty good. I have to say the sophomores are more terrifying.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. Oh, I taught history for 20 years, so
Okay. Yeah.
I
So
know
you
all
understand.
about it. Yeah. I totally understand.
So you have your good days and bad days.
I taught freshmen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should just hug you after this.
You guys just bonded.
We are,
just
yeah.
bonded in front of me. This
Yeah,
is
another
great.
red blue. It's great. All right. So last year we went on this ghost tour, and there was this box, and I don't know what you call this
A spirit box.
A spirit box, but
Yeah.
basically they had it in this room. They turned it on, and we were like, and the women, we all heard it. It was like all these ghosts that were women. And they told, they all said, "Scott, get out
They did.
out of this box."
It's crazy.
What is this? What is this stuff? Is this legit stuff?
Yeah, the spirit box, like what it does is it picks up different voices from electromagnetic waves through different vibrations in the radio waves and whatnot. So yeah, it's legit. I mean,
Because once I heard that, Scott, get out, and we all heard it. You
Yeah.
heard it. Everyone in the
I have
room
it on
heard
tape.
it. We have it
Yeah.
on tape. And we turned it off. We did it, and I went to the guy, and I freaked out on him. I'm like, you better not tell me you're lying to me. Like, I got real
it doesn't
red.
plug in or anything.
It wasn't
No.
plugged
Yeah.
into anything.
no. So,
That it was crazy. And he told me it was legit. He said he was not lying to me.
So when you're putting the spirit box on, usually we set it to a certain radio wavelength, and it's cutting like, and it's like the slower you are, you're going to pick up something. And usually, the more the slower it gets or the faster it gets, you'll pick up that spiritual voice over.
Have you ever heard anything out of one of these?
Oh yeah. I mean, I usually I just use like a cheap thing on my phone. But at the lighthouse,
You've heard stuff.
I've heard "Get Out," "Murder," which
Okay.
is great. When you're in there by yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear Wiley get out?
No.
Okay.
No,
So they didn't name you. I was named. Named.
See that? Yeah, you got me beat on that one. It's like that's probably a no-go.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
You've been doing this for a while now. Do you feel like they know you?
I do. I have a couple spots. When we go to the Kenwood House or Kenwood Inn, we have a ghost named Mitzi. I feel like Mitzi is kind of drawn to me. So yeah, there's a ghost by the name of Mitzi at the Kenwood Inn. We'll talk about her story later, but usually once a while, like maybe once a week, she'll come out and say hi, and I'll have my guests go out and we'll get pictures and stuff like that. So I feel like they know us. I mean, I've had ghosts follow me before, so that was fun.
Wow.
So,
Follow you? Do they ever come home with you?
No.
Okay.
And because I always do the proper precautions of, you don't have the right to follow me, don't follow me, and I always do that before I get in the car.
Has a ghost ever choked you?
No, but a ghost has basically rubbed my earlobe in New Orleans. So,
Okay. That was a friendly ghost, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of.
That's a lot.
She was a ghost of a prostitute, so it made sense.
Thank you. That's nice.
All right. Okay.
So.
Our group, I was talking to them last night, and they want to do some sort of protection prayer, or more kind of just like would you recommend that for the group?
So, obviously, I mean, people can do that.
Yeah.
The guests that go with me, I always tell them that, anytime you're going into a place, there will be energy that can attach to you. Ghosts are spirits that they're lonely sometimes, and when you talk to them, they're like, I think I'm going to go with that person, and they'll actually attach to you. So it's important to, before you go somewhere, to just say, hey, listen, you don't have the right to follow me, don't follow me, and whatever, and they'll stay behind. So, I mean, we've had, and we'll talk about it later, but we've had a ghost at Kenwood Inn follow someone to their house.
Yeah, I believe that because
I believe that.
Remember Joseph? He came back when we were taping the podcast.
Yeah, we had a negative experience, and we didn't do that. We didn't say, you don't have the right to follow me or anything. And then we were talking about it. Oh, hey, this experience happened on the podcast. We both had a similar, and it's on record. And you just have to trust us, I guess, because at the same time, we both felt somebody around our neck as we're saying it.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've grown, because I've never done paranormal stuff. I'm a psychic, I'm a medium. I usually deal with dead people who are your relatives, so it's different. these are like stranger ghosts or something. So it's
Right.
kind of just you're going into their house and you have to be respectful. So I understand that better now.
I'm not a medium or anything, but I am a sensitive, so I do pick up on energies. And that's one thing about me. Like I can tell if you're a good or bad person just by just kind of sensing around you.
Am I okay?
Oh no, you guys are great. Like,
Okay,
it honestly,
I wasn't sure.
If I thought there was a problem with you, I get real closed off, and I just kind of like,
All right.
Wow.
so.
All right.
That's just how I am.
Oh, wow, Wiley. Thank
All
you.
right. So we're going to split the group up a little bit. We think 'cause
Okay.
we have 50 people. Do you want Wiley or Tanya?
I don't care. I like them both.
All right.
What's that?
Well,
It's so awkward.
We are both great.
I feel Tanya might play a prank on me or something. I'm getting
scared of
nervous.
Tanya.
Wiley, I think we have the connection, so maybe I go with Wiley. Maybe I go with Wiley, and
No,
you
I
go with
think you should
Tanya.
go with Tanya.
All right.
All right.
All right.
character.
Let's go say our prayer.
That's right.
Let's go say a prayer and get started.
Due to the nature of this ghost tour, we were unable to record in the middle of it, but now we will be going to exit interviews and our close. Hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys. All right. So we just finished the ghost tour.
We just did it.
It took 2 hours.
Yep.
My feet are just like about to fall off. At the end, I was just like kind of sleeping on a bench.
And Tanya got you, and I have that on video, and I'll put it up on socials.
Okay, Tanya.
Yeah.
And right now we're in another weird location. Okay, there might even be an echo here. We know there's been a lot of noises from all the places we've been. Like, we just haven't been able to tape an ideal location. Where are we now? Under the Lighthouse
Leitner Museum?
Leitner Museum.
Okay, great.
In this really creepy underpass.
It's really creepy.
It's really creepy.
Yeah.
So what did you think of the tour?
So I thought the tour was really good. There was a lot of people because it was 50 people. But what was interesting is as we were going, they were saying, take photos, and they gave us tools. But the photos that we got are like bone chilling. I mean, and I can't wait to put them all up on socials and stuff like that because faces, figures. And that's not even all of it. People were saying they felt different things. A lot of people are getting sick. I had like the worst headache for a long time.
My neck was killing me.
My neck was killing me too. A purple bomb Amanda almost threw up in like the park.
Well, I kept telling the ghost to go to her, so that's why she.
Not nice.
Yeah, that's what I was
She
doing.
almost threw up at the park. So I feel like we all kind of felt a lot of different things, and it was historical too. We learned a lot. I mean, there was this one, the one part by the hospital that. I think I heard everybody saying how uncomfortable they were during that part.
I'm here. This was the most surprising thing. Brianna,
Yes, our daughter.
our Brie,
Yes.
got the most incredible photos.
Yeah.
She was freaking out.
Yeah, she gets really
She
stressed
really
out.
got, but she really got into it. I thought she was going to be the problem for us.
Well, we thought
honestly.
she'd be a little red,
We
but
thought
she
she'd
was
be
more
red about
purple.
it, but she
so it
became
worked
out
out
more purple. She saw
Yeah.
this purple orb.
She
actually, you got to see some of the photos yet. Did you see them yet?
Yes.
She's got some crazy
No,
stuff.
they creep me out. I think like the part that got me the most is we were in this one courtyard, and it's haunted by a Spanish soldier. And they said if you spoke Spanish, sometimes he'd respond or something. So that is where I felt the most in that spot when I was trying to speak to him. And
Yeah. Well, I said Vaya con Dios to him from I was
Point
pretending,
Break.
Yeah, Point Break. I was
Yeah.
pretending to be Keanu Reeves.
Vaya con Dios.
And he actually said, he said like adios or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, okay.
Yeah. That might not have happened. Sure. But I did say.
But we brought some of our Mystic Michaela spiritual family members.
That was a motorcycle that just went by.
That's so much noise. Some of our Mystic Michaela spiritual family members.
Because this was about them.
This was about them.
The whole
this was about
idea.
all of you guys.
Right,
Yeah.
It was to get the listeners to come and see what it's like, be part of the podcast.
Yeah.
Right, so let's take Amy first.
Right.
And we have to ask her, what her aura colors are.
Yes,
she knows.
she
and then
does.
after that, all right. So she's in the green room.
Yeah.
We have a tent that we established. She's in the green room.
Okay.
We'll get her out of there. All right, ready? Here is Amy.
Hey, Amy.
Hi, guys. How are you?
So what's your aura?
Indigo, pink with a little bit of purple.
Yes.
I'm sure I let a lot of the pink out tonight, which is fine.
She was very pink on the trip.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get you over here to talk because you said something interesting to me during the tour. Can you explain?
Yeah, I asked you how common it was to smell. Periodically, I kept smelling this rancid. The only way I can describe it was like roadkill.
I I thought for a while it was me. It wasn't. Are you sure it wasn't me?
I sniffed about 20 people around me, and nobody
It wasn't me.
It
You
wasn't you.
sure? Okay.
We're good.
All right.
We're good.
Okay, good.
I also did get a headache in that one particular area where they were saying around the hospital, I believe.
hospital,
And
yeah.
then the person who got shot through the neck.
Right.
My neck felt a little uncomfortable. It
Right.
wasn't necessarily really painful, but the headache for sure, was pretty instant.
Yeah.
But the smell kept coming periodically, and when I asked you, you said maybe because this whole area is kind of a burial ground, and
Yeah.
it would
they
come
said,
and go.
Yeah, they said like every 3 feet that you walk, you're stepping on.
And St. Augustine, because they would just bury people as they
Yeah.
fell.
I kept asking
mass
people, I'm
graves.
like, do you guys smell that?
But nobody else was smelling it. It was just you. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's really
that's the way
weird.
spirit, that's like clairalience. So that's like psychic smelling. And that might be your tell. Like that might be your psychic thing.
I wish it was a little bit more pleasant. But
and then, and then Amy was like, why can't they smell better if they're
Right?
going to smell?
smell like roses or
Now,
something.
now this is the funniest part of this was the funniest part of the tour. Okay, so Amy is pink, and it's really funny because we had the whole crew, and then they told us to go over and look at this door, right? And all of a sudden, we all look over there, and there is Amy popping.
Yeah, but you said you forgot the best part.
Oh, okay.
They said, come look at the most photographed place
Oh,
in
right,
all
right,
of
right,
St.
of course.
Augustine. Like, all the influencers come. Everybody takes their tourist photos there. And then we all, look at the same time, and Amy's already there.
And there's
and
pink
I'm like,
Amy.
there's the pink.
Yep, there's the pink. And then also
She was just, naturally drawn to it.
there she was.
It was beautiful inside, but
Yeah.
And then, so we all have that picture, but Amy's in it.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
worked
in
out.
front of the
It's
door.
good.
Yeah, it's all good.
And then tell us, too, because it was interesting. There was a park where a little boy had passed, and I guess he's very active there. And we were all centered around where he passed, like he fell through a well and died. And you, I noticed, were in the back doing something. What did you feel?
yeah. So I guess when we got to that area, I was just immediately drawn to that back archway, and you could kind of tell. And I asked him to sit down and see if he felt. I asked Scotty to sit down and see if he felt anything. He
I
said,
did not sit.
Yeah, no. In the moment you kind of walk into a certain area, you felt the energy change, and you almost felt a good energy, but it was playful. And I don't know if I consider myself to be a very playful person, so I don't know if I was kind of drawn to that, and I wanted to be more where he would play rather than where he passed.
Oh, I got chills.
Is kind of how I felt.
I love that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. I know other people said that when they were by the well, they felt negativity and heavy. Yeah, and I'm like, well, I felt pretty good in the back area, so I.
Well, and they did say if you come out at 2 a.m.
That's when
where he
he's
hangs
usually
out.
there.
Yeah, so
You know-
are you going to go back, Amy, at 2?
I don't think so. Not tonight. Maybe another
Maybe
time.
another time.
I do
Okay.
live close by, so.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
You could.
might
That's
be,
fascinating to me because this whole special, I wanted to talk about how everyone's auras kind of would coincide with the paranormal events. So I think it's so interesting, like you just shared that, through your playfulness and whatnot. That's the way you can experience spirit, and I love that. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you
so
so
we-
much for this. It was
Yeah.
great.
Oh yeah, this is fun.
All right, so hang out, Amy. Don't go anywhere. Don't run off and start playing with the little boy. Okay. All right. We now have Anna Marie.
Yes.
Okay. I got that right?
Yeah, you did good.
Okay. Anna Marie, do you know your aura colors? You do
Oh,
not.
you don't?
Well, you're about to find out.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I've known you forever. That's the thing. You're purple and indigo, and you, to me, you're like one of those indigos that figured it out at some point, and I feel like you just radiate an ability to both feel people and then put up a little, it's okay if it's not going both ways for you. You know what I mean? So you're the indigo we all strive to be, Anna Marie. So thank you.
You are so sweet. I'm so happy to be here. Like I said, I live here, and I've never been on a ghost tour here. So when I heard you talking about this on your podcast, I dropped everything and got on the computer and said, "Can I have a ticket?"
Yeah, I'm so glad you
So
came.
It was a great experience.
So this is your first one. This is your first ghost tour?
my first ghost
you
tour,
live here.
and I live here.
And you
Yeah.
live here.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
So Anna Maria was interesting. Everybody had interesting things to say on the tour, but Anna Maria was interesting. She's like, I feel like they're following me. And she would take pictures and we'll explain that.
So at the hospital, at the military hospital, I just held my camera up. So I couldn't really see what I was photographing. I was just kind of taking pictures into space, but toward the hospital. And I got a few orbs, several well-formed orbs at the hospital. And then walking from the hospital to the convent, I kept getting these chills, and I kept feeling like something was behind me or something was.
Wow.
I know I did. And then when we walked on that road where she said, everyone walk and just tell me what you feel.
Yeah, it was a really back, dark, like cobblestone road. Yeah.
Yes. I had my cell phone in one hand and the EMF in the other, and they were both several feet apart from one another, and the EMF was going to red.
Yeah.
And then when we got to the end of the street, I asked her, could it have been the high-tension wires that we had just walked out to? And she said, no, you would have had to have been standing right here. So
Wow.
I know there was
Your
some.
little ghost
All right,
friend.
so what do you think?
Yes.
So, all right, so she's indigo.
Yes.
Does that have anything to do why they were following her
Yeah, I
around?
think, because my own thing with ghosts and stuff is
Yeah.
I want to know more about them, or I feel like very attached to them, or friendly. Like, they don't scare me so much. It's more,
Yes.
I just want to see, can I solve something for you or whatever? Right.
yes.
Like nurturing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like if you're there, that's cool.
Yeah,
You know,
whatever.
I'm open to it. Yeah. Come on.
Give me some orb photos. But yeah, she's got a lot of orb photo
Yeah.
pictures, which are really
Yeah.
cool.
At the convent, especially when the tour guide said you'll probably get a lot of orbs in here, and that was before I took the picture.
Okay.
So I just put my phone over that stone wall into the convent yard, and I got several orbs and some shadows.
Oh, that's really neat.
So it was neat. It was very neat. Now I know, you know.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
So
you.
now that you've gone on your first ghost hunt,
Yes.
ghost tour,
Yes.
you're a believer. You believe this
Yes.
100%.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes.
Amy,
yes.
get back on there for 1 second. You also believe this 100% that there are ghosts in St. Augustine.
Yes.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt
I think
in your
they're
mind.
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah. I've had one visit me, a family member.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 100%.
Am I the only one that I'm not 100%
Really?
sure? Yeah, I don't know.
what do you need?
Am I 100%?
What do you need?
Okay.
You just need more than the rest
I
of us.
do. Well, I went off on my own a little bit. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't want to say this, but I will say this now. I went off because the tour was going on, and I was hang out in the back.
Yeah, we noticed that.
People probably
Amy noticed that.
Did people notice
I
that?
actually got a couple of good pictures of him isolated in
Yeah.
some back alleys. It was great. I'll send those,
Thank you.
post them to Facebook.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. So that's what I do. Whenever I'm in a group, I always go on my own thing, and I turned on what's that?
So you had a little spirit box.
I had the
didn't
spirit
you?
box.
Right.
And I thought that one house. Were you at the one? And I don't know where it was. It was like down a deep, dark alley.
inn?
You guys were on the outside.
The house with the murder?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought through the spirit box, I heard my name a few times.
For real?
Yeah, I swear.
You should have gotten on your cell phone recorder.
I didn't use my cell phone the entire time.
Oh,
I don't,
really?
Yeah.
But
No, I was too in the moment. I was trying to find
So
ghosts.
you still don't believe?
Right.
Okay. I just don't know what you need. I just don't know what you need. Nobody knows that.
Right now, I need a slice of pizza because I'm
Yeah.
tired.
Who else is hungry?
We
I'm
need
really
to go
hungry.
to the pie ice cream place
Oh,
that
is that
we
the
passed
thing?
by.
Okay.
It looked delicious.
Okay.
Oh, peace pie.
Yes.
Well, thank you both so
Thank
much.
you guys
I really
so much.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's follow it up when we go home. Hey, Scotty.
Hey guys. All right. So it's a few days later. We're back from St. Augustine. And it took us a couple, we wanted to actually get this done a couple of days ago, but we were so exhausted
Yeah.
from this ghost tour. And we had a lot of also people that were on the tour tell us the same thing, that they had this huge exhaustion. And it was a tiring trip. It was about 2 hours, but it seems like it's more than that.
No, it was different than you walked for 2 hours and you were tired. That would just be my legs are tired. No, this was full body, mind fog, exhaustion, fatigue.
I think you were saying it was an energy hangover or something like that.
Yeah, so this is an energy hangover. So, and a lot of people reached out to me and said that they felt like they had drunk, they were drunk, and then the next day they were hungover. But you didn't drink, so it was good.
Right.
And I felt like this too. So during the tour, I think because, a couple things. When you go on these things, if you're really open to it, you know, if you're really open to it, which our group really was open to it, we're like, okay, we're so ready. Let's connect. You know, we have a great group, a group of empaths and intuitive people. And every site we went to, I saw everybody was like, okay, let's get a picture. Let's really connect. Let's try to get into the story. Let's really feel something here. And when you do that enough times, you've absorbed a lot. And then it's kind of sitting with you. And this can happen. Energy hangovers can happen a lot of times, like perhaps you've done a whole weekend with like a workshop, or you were working too much or conferencing or I don't know, too much peopling basically. But this is like a paranormal energy hangover. So a lot of people were saying all their symptoms, like your whole body aches, swollen body parts, headaches, neck pains. That was my thing. Neck pains, nausea, just feeling out of it, fuzzy, like a cloudy fuzz in your brain, like brain fog. All that kind of stuff is energy hangover things. And I had it. And I spoke to, from our first tour, Adriana. She wrote to me that she went into this tour all hyped up and full of energy and totally fine, like really into it. And then she said by the end, she could have fallen asleep anywhere. She was so exhausted and she thought that was weird. And she had like this swollen leg, and then the next day it was gone, you know? So, and it's just interesting because I heard that over and over again.
Okay.
Did you feel that?
Honestly, no. I have flat feet. My feet were killing me.
You were more just, yeah,
I was
that's
more
different.
into my feet were just like going to fall off.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they felt like they had gone to Disney World 2 times. I walked around Disney
because we
twice.
walked around the town all that day,
right.
And then we walked around again. But this is different. Like, this is different.
Yeah, the only time I felt something was the Kenwood Inn.
Okay.
So at the Kenwood Inn, and we started off, you know, that was the one place I actually remembered that we were going to go with Lavender, who, you know, was killed by supposedly killed by the doctor
who she was having an affair with.
Right. And when I was there, I felt a little nauseous. I felt my neck was starting to really hurt a lot. I felt like zapped of energy. But then once we left that area, like we walked away from the house, I was totally fine again.
Weird.
Yeah. So that was like the only time it happened to me.
That place had a 50-50 split. So Danny, who we interviewed earlier too, she said she did not like it in front of that place, and she was not cool with it. Like, no, like that.
What was your take? I
liked it. Like that. It had an extreme vibe. People were either like, "Nope, let's go,"
yeah,
or I heard people being like, "Oh my god, it is a beautiful inn. It's like this beautiful home." I'll post a picture. I felt this feminine kind of, like, come on in kind of energy that was like a little creepy, yet I was still into it. Kind of like, come on, like girlish and very feminine. I don't know how else to say it. Like, it felt like a very feminine, girly type vibe. Like, come in. Like, and I felt a very friendly, hospitable environment, but in kind of an overly friendly way. Like, almost like how somebody would want a child to come in. Or even creepier than that, like a doll or something. Like, I want to keep you. Come here. Like that.
Yeah.
But me being me, I'm like, okay, you know, and I'm like, I want to stay there. Like, it looked really, I don't know, I wanted to hang out there more. So it's a bit of intoxicating.
No, I'll tell you the truth. Although my neck was hurting and all that stuff, I actually want to stay there too.
Oh,
like,
you do?
I do want to stay
That's
there.
Like,
I want to tape in there. I want to record in there.
Well, they say that Lavender likes to kind of play tricks on men. In her room.
Yeah.
And there's been, I guess we heard a lot of stories about how she pretends she's laying in bed next to you, or you feel her laying with you, or she likes to kind of be your bed and breakfast girlfriend for the weekend. That's something.
Okay. Something to think about.
It's like the girlfriend experience.
Right.
With a ghost. That's what all the stories were suggesting. I'm like, okay.
If this truly did happen, that's what it suggested. Yeah, exactly. All right. So, and you said Danny, who we interviewed, felt...
She was like, nope.
No. Okay. All right, the other place, which was interesting on the tour, the Spanish Military Hospital and Museum, it's actually a reconstruction of it. Mm-hmm. The Spanish Military Hospital was built in the 1700s, And then there was, again, with everything in St. Augustine, everything was like burnt to the
Everything
ground.
constantly burns down.
Things were, right. So it was also burnt some parts of it were burnt down at points. They had to rebuild and do other things in the 1800s with it. And when they were doing all that, they discovered there were thousands and thousands of human bodies buried under the building's foundation.
And like body parts, too,
And body
right?
parts, all these things. So this is, they say, one of the most haunted spots where, people walking by hear like moans and groans and all the noises that people would make that were dying in
Suffering
hospitals.
at that time.
Now, this one was tricky because, and I'll tell you why. So, okay, it makes sense that it would be haunted.
Sure.
But right across the street is a hop-in restaurant
Is it true?
where people are eating outdoors,
Yeah.
right? Like 3 feet, like less than 3 feet from the body parts.
Well, it's funny because it's on the oldest continuously used street in
Yeah.
America or something, which is very cool. It's
Yeah,
like
cool.
skinny.
It's a cool street.
It's a very cool street. It's skinny and
Yeah.
cobblestone, and it's something to look at.
Right.
But our tour guides were like, and they told us this too. They're like, underneath on both sides of the street is just like bodies and body parts just buried. And you're standing on them now. And then as she's explaining this to our big group, I just kind of look over and there's people just kind of like eating dinner at the outdoor restaurant.
Right.
Like, hi.
Yeah. And of course me, and of course there's me. Did you hear me when I was?
No.
I was just walking by like, you guys know there's dead people here. And I was like, you're eating over body parts. And I couldn't help myself.
It's just funny because when you go on these ghost tours, you're just kind of going by businesses and people living their lives or people walking home from wherever who live there.
Yeah.
And you're looking in their yard and stuff for ghosts. They're probably like, okay.
There I am, back to high school Scotty, telling people, hey guys, you're eating next to body parts just because I have to do it.
You have to do it.
And everyone was like looking at me like they were eating like, huh?
They're probably used to it. If they're from here, they're like, okay, whatever.
But the members of the Mystic Michaela spiritual family that came with us, they were laughing at my joke. So,
Oh, yeah.
So I did what I had to do. But anyway, so for me, and maybe someone who's more connected could get in there better than I can. Like in that situation, for someone like me, it's not going to happen. Like I can't, I'm not feeling anything.
A lot of people didn't like that place. Same thing. Adriana and Danny wrote me saying the same thing. They didn't like it there either. Like, and a lot of people just felt uncomfortable in front of that hospital and that space where the hospital really was.
Yeah.
I felt fine. Honestly, that was kind of the part of I think too, because I went with the kids. And the kids they were so into it.
They were.
So I was so into them being into it too.
Me too.
And so some places, like that place was, I don't know. Like, I guess I didn't want the kids near it. I think I remember feeling that way about it. Like, it's like, okay, let's just stand on this side of the street. I didn't want them to be very close to it. So it didn't feel very welcoming to me.
Okay. That makes sense. And I just want to add to that, that it really, Bree, our oldest, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Although she was scared at times. I thought, this could go one of two ways, like really be a total disaster.
Well, she's a teenager now,
right.
yes. So.
She didn't, we all got shirts. She didn't want to wear the shirt, So I thought, and then of course, once she saw us all wearing the shirt, she wanted to wear the shirt.
Oh, did she want it?
Oh, yeah, she did.
Oh,
and I'm like, Stephanie, do you have an extra shirt? And she's like,
oh, Stephanie did tell me that, yeah. Oh, we had Stephanie, our Mystic Michaela spiritual family member, made us all glow in the dark ghost hunting with Mystic Michaela shirts. So cool.
So, but she was so into it, and she would be running over to me with pictures that she had taken.
She got crazy pictures.
She got some crazy
I'm going to have to post
pictures.
them. They're creepy. They were so scary. She sent them all to me and deleted them. She didn't want them on her phone.
Yeah, she didn't want them on her phone. Mm-mm. That's how creepy they were.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It really, I really did enjoy that.
I enjoyed the kids getting into it.
I did, yeah.
And we had other kids there too, and they all got into it. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. And I have to suggest, this has nothing to do with anything, but this is a great date. Like, ghost hunting is a great date. Like, even if, it just is. Because you hold on to each other, and it's nice, and it's history, and you walk, and you see cool things, and it's just, it's a nice experience on a date if you're looking for that.
Yeah, I agree. And I just want to add, and the military hospital is reconstruction. So I just want to add this.
Okay.
Just because they reconstructed these buildings, or, I picked a hotel because I didn't want the kids to freak out that was haunted. That's why I didn't pick the Kenwood Inn.
Yeah.
We picked the Hilton Garden Inn, which was brand new. It's only been a couple months old. And that's where the weirdest stuff happened.
Yeah.
But apparently they built it like everything else in St. Augustine, over dead bodies.
Yes.
And the lights in the hotel went on by themselves.
Okay, so
They went off by themselves.
yeah, after the tour when we got back, weird things started happening in our hotel room.
Yeah. So
And I had to do some extra prayers because, Wiley and Tanya said, they make sure they don't follow you home. And you have to do some clearing and cleansing prayers after. And honestly, I was so exhausted and like energy hung over that it was just like bed. I just went to bed. I'm like, put everyone to bed at that night. Like, good night. But then weird things started happening in the hotel room. So
okay, so that hotel is haunted. But, all right. So I do want to just close it up by giving a few thanks. Ghost Augustine, they were our tour group. Fantastic.
So fun.
I set this whole thing up with their manager, co-owner, Troy.
Oh,
He's got some great tales.
He is cool.
I am hoping in the future to work with him again.
Yeah.
In one of these houses, to actually get into one of the houses and do some, poking around. Our tour guides, Wiley, who's also a blue-red history teacher, and Tanya, who's a purple. I forgot her secondary color already, but Tanya. And then, of course, members of the Mystic Michaela spiritual family who helped us. Casey, who brought all the bling.
Oh, she brought bling.
She did like a lot of odds and ends.
She also got us home.
And she got us home when none of us could get home. And she got us pizza when we were all starving to death.
That was great.
Stephanie for the shirts. Jules helped me out sorting, getting everyone together.
Name
tagging and all that.
Everything.
So thank you to them. And then, of course, thank you to every single Mystic Michaela spiritual family member who came with us.
Wow. Amazing group.
Just amazing group.
This podcast is for you and about you, and we're so glad you had a spooky time with us today.